Hello, it's Sunday, June 27th, and that this is the week 25 Return to Creativity update with your hostess, Jennifer Vanderbeek of scrapsoflife.com. How are you doing? I think it took me like 4 times to do that intro because I kept flubbing it. I hope that's not how the rest of my day is going to go. No. It's hot, folks. I know I'm wearing long sleeves, but it's kind of hot. I got to go out to water the plants in the garden in a little bit, and yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. Granted, that chore has been taken from me a little bit over the last week since it's rained for most of the last week, and if the forecast is correct, it's going to rain for the next week. So I guess yay. There was a request in the comments from last week's video that I share some garden stuff. So I did go out and take a little bit of footage from the garden yesterday, and so it's, of course, you're seeing it over here on the side. Things are going really good. I've pulled several zucchinis and a couple of yellow squash, pulled my first eggplant. We've got tomatoes that are looking promising. We did treat them for the calcium deficiency that was showing up. And overall things are going good. I think my one side of the one squash bed is like massive and gorgeous, and then the other one is like and I don't know if it's, I did use 2 different soils, so this is kind of an interesting thing. The massive ones are growing in primarily the composted soil that I'd ordered in that cubic yard container, whereas the other ones are like all Miracle-Gro whatever. And so maybe that's it, maybe that's the difference, or maybe it's just they get more sun first thing in the morning and maybe that stunts them. I don't know. Are they didn't seem like they were getting sunburned, but maybe they dries them out faster. I don't know. It's an interesting experiment to be sure. Also, I learned this week that eggplants have thorns. Dude, that hurt. I was trying to twist it off there and I got jabbed something fierce. And then this week we actually had our first garden salad from our garden. I used the radishes have come in, and so I had the radishes and some radish greens. I still have some Lakanto kale that I've been doing the cut and come again. Basically, you don't pull it up, you just cut the leaves you want and let it keep growing. I'm just going to let it go as long as it will. Even though we're technically out of season for it. But yeah, I had that. I had some kale. I've got some arugula that's really pretty. We had the zucchini and a yellow squash. And what else? Oh, borage. Borage I have in the garden this year. And I mostly put it in there for like the blue flowers and the medicinal herb properties of it. You can make a tea from it that's supposed to be very calming and stress reducing. But you can actually, eat it in salads. And it says that the leaves have kind of a cucumber-y taste. Yeah, I guess I can sort of see it. It would have been my first thing, but I'm like, yeah, I guess I can see where that description comes from. So yeah, we had our first garden salad, and I thought that was pretty doggone cool. Let's see. Oh, duh. The main event, as it were, the cookbook. Progress is being made. Thank goodness. I have the cover to show you now. The front cover is finished. The back cover, I'm still doing the, excuse me, hiccups. I am doing the coloring for some of the sample pages that's going to go on the back cover. I have most of the, the front and back matter inserts or text bits ready to be inserted in, the final layout set. So we're getting really, 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 really super close, and I am so grateful. Let's see. What else this week? Oh, work's been work. But it's okay. It's okay. So yeah, but I've just been trying to keep up. I had a really good therapy session on Friday. Had a really good therapy session. And in fact, we talked about something that I was guilty of this past week, which is when working on a project and you find out, you hit something that you're not 100% sure of, or you don't know, the temptation can be to, oh, I need to go learn about this thing, which is okay, because yes, sometimes you do, but the pitfall to look out for, especially for the ADHD brain. But everybody kind of falls on into those internet traps, and suddenly it's 3 hours later and you're learning about whatever. Is to not let that happen, because that's just that's a little sidetrack that is going to get in the way of your productivity. And yeah, I kind of found myself doing that a little bit this past week. So when he said that, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I gotta work on that. But I think this might be another thing where that cube timer that I got will come in handy, because I'm like, okay, I need to go research something. I could set that and say, okay, I'm going to give myself 30 minutes, say, to research this, and then I've got to get back to whatever it is I'm working on. So I think that's going to be my tactic for things like that. But yeah, I'm just super happy that the coloring book is almost finished, and I'm really happy with the way the cover turned out finally. I was having such a hard time figuring out how it needed to look. I mean, I had the drawing, I just like, and then it was like, I can color it, but how do I color it? And what is the best way to present it? And oh, there were too many options. Yeah, analysis paralysis, that happened. And yeah, it's just, but this is the process. This is the process. And this is what I have to kind of be careful going forward, to not get stuck over there that too long. Let's see. Anything else? Anything else? Not really. Not really. That's been the focus this week. That's been the focus. And for the following this week, I want to wrap up the coloring book. Switch gears to going back to finishing up the minor tweaks and revisions to the cookbook, so we can get that up on Amazon as well. And oh, the other thing that I did kind of have to deal with a little bit this week was yeah, I haven't touched any of my websites in 2 years at least, some longer than that. But now that the book is getting ready, and I had to decide, how I was going to present it online. It's like, yeah, through social media and everything, but was I going to use my scrapsoflife.com, my blog site? Was I going to use my portfolio site? Was I going to use, what was I going to do? I've decided to put all the business stuff under the Crafty branch, which was the LLC I'd registered a while back, and when I'd hoped to open the craft store. And that didn't happen, but then I did the kits. I started making up the kits and stuff, and that didn't work out, but it's okay. It's okay. I still maintain the LLC name and its its sales tax registration, because I thought, it would be good to have it in case I needed to use it again. And so, yeah, I think everything is going to go under that as far as like physical products and stuff. Still not sure what I'm going to do with my other sites. I definitely need to revamp my named site, like my portfolio site, because that stuff is very much out of date. I mean, it's still valid, but the tone needs to change, I think. But yeah, but those are things that I had to start poking around, because I was just looking for a doggone like newsletter sign up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've got a MailChimp account. No, I don't. Apparently it had been, I hadn't logged in so long, it was like, boop. I'm like, oh, okay, great. So I had to go through getting all that set up again. And then, of course, everything has changed. It's been a while, and so much has changed with their business models and stuff. And I'm like, So that led to some research time too. And I'm like, okay, let's dial it back in. And that's when I was like, okay, if I figured it out. I figured it out enough so that I could move forward. I do not have to have it all in place before the book is done. I just have to have it all in place before somebody orders it the first time. So get the book done first, and make, you know, work things to make it work. Work things to make it work. Oh yeah, I can English real good today. Work around it. Yeah. Anyway, since I do seem to be a bit tongue-tied today, and I've got work ahead of me and the garden and laundry and all those administrivia types things, I think it's time for me to sign off. Oh gosh. I hope your past week has been pleasant, if not absolutely fabulous. I hope the week coming is amazing for you. I hope you make time for yourself. Remember, we all deserve to make time for ourselves and our interests and what fills our tanks, what fills our hearts, what makes our souls happy. So I wish you the ability and space and time to do that this coming week. And I'll be back next week. And next week I'll have the big news. Yes, I did not forget about that. The big news is still coming. Next week will actually be 4th of July, and I think that that is really, really appropriate for the news that's coming up. All right. So until then, be good to yourselves. Bye.